Invitational. I'm EK, going to be joining me here is Spuddington, and we should have everything ready to go, and picks and bans should be going underway.
Yes, indeed. So, first ban Lulu. Seen that quite a bit this series already. Both teams very heavily respecting the champion pick there. And obviously, it is one of the favorites of almost every mid laner in Europe still, and is also occasionally played top, mostly by NIP, but occasionally played top nonetheless. And the Kassadin has seemingly reached permaban status, at least when Gamers 2 is involved. Ocelot does play a very strong Kassadin there. So both these teams pretty much just going through the motions of the same bans that we've seen so far.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to really differentiate between the bans. Maybe a simple switch between like a Jax ban and a Shyvana maybe top band. And the Aurelia as well. You know, the top bands really are going to stay the same, at least from what I've seen from these few games from the EU scene. Just like Aurelia and Jax are like the main priority to get out of the way for top lane.
Yeah, that's definitely true. The fact they have been banned so much, and the fact that it's Aurelia that's been banned, most of the time she is let through and is allowed to be picked. But getting that Aurelia out of the way has enabled some picks we haven't seen a lot of lately. Shyvana and Mundo, both of them are not super popular. Mundo especially, not one we see a lot of. But the Kayle ban coming out of SK Prime here does indicate they may continue with the strategy of an early pick on the Yasuo. It would make a certain amount of sense. Will Gamers 2 ban it out next, I wonder? No, Jax.
I feel like they should. Maybe JWoww's like, can I please get Jax if they don't ban it? And he's gonna risk not banning it. But
they banned it. Don't worry.
Okay. All right, never mind.
Yeah, it's fine. We're gonna be going with pretty much the same bans we've had all series. Twitch was allowed through in the first game, and Kayle was allowed through in the second. So those banned out, and Aurelia is the final ban there. So, well, what will we be seeing in the top lane? Who knows? Because it doesn't look like they will pick that first. They might do. JWoww is the first picker here, but no.
Dude had a really good showing on Thresh. Like they should just grab that for him again. That was a really good job by him. He had some sick hooks.
Yeah, Gamers 2 thus far this series have always been picking Thresh, I think, in the first or the second draft phase for them. So SK Prime definitely are sticking with their guns here. They've taken Yasuo again here. They've also taken the Lee Sin away from their opponent. The card looks still open.
Okay, so Gilius switching gears here, going for the blind bunk this time around for the jungle. And Wadafox, you know, Yasuo Lee Sin synergy is always not too bad in the mid lane, but with Kayle banned, what is Ocelot going to pick to counter it out? You know, Fizz is not too bad against Yasuo. So we could potentially see that, but I don't know if your EUS like really plays Fizz all that much, but you know, never know.
Tends to be UC specific players that have always played Fizz and still play Fizz. I don't think we've seen Ocelot on it too much. I think he does bust it out very occasionally, but not a very popular pick for him. Nuke Duck is probably the foremost Fizz player.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean we've seen that already. I think in this very tournament against the Yasuo. So we'll see if Gamers 2 have got that as their pocket pick here. But okay, so they were hovering over Twisted Fate there, SK Prime. So I was thinking maybe it was going to be a top Yasuo, but I'm not sure about that versus a Shyvana. Could work out, but I think after a while she'd get too tanky and just stick to you.
Yeah, she would be on him since the level 1 phase in that lane. She would literally just run up to him and burn out and be like, all right, you're zoned away. Now I'm going to go free farm and enjoy. And I'm glad they picked up Lucian Thresh as well for G2 side for that bot lane. They had a really, really good game last game with that. And that's going to put SK into possibly a safe position and maybe make them pick a Caitlyn and possibly Morgana again for that lane. I think that'd be good. But they actually lock in Teemo.
Could be a placeholder.
Okay. True.
Could be a placeholder. So if that is a placeholder pick, we'll have to get some confirmation. I'm not expecting it's a Teemo mid blind pick or a Teemo top into Shyvana. It's possible.
Teemo jungle. Top lane Lee Sin. Let's go.
Oh, you know, it's
horrible. I know. I'm just playing with you, but
Teemo jungle has been played sometimes by players in
This
solo
is the
queue.
cheese they had ready for NIP. Watch, ready? This was their plan for NIP.
All right. I still haven't had any confirmation, so I guess we continue under the assumption it's legitimate for now. I still wouldn't want to play Teemo, and especially wouldn't want to play Teemo into an Elise jungle if you were jungling Teemo. Okay,
Oh,
it's
it's
Braum.
Braum.
That would
Oh,
make a heck of a lot more sense than a Teemo mid.
that's no fun. I'm
I
upset
will
now.
agree. I would rather see Teemo than not see Teemo. But Braum, he's a new champion. He's still relatively exciting. So, guys, when we finish up with the current pick ban phase, we'll have to remake the lobby and swap that out. I assume this is also a placeholder pick if they're hovering over Scion for a reason here.
Well, either way, the lobby has to be remade, so
Yeah,
may as well. Why not?
pick whatever. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but
That's all.
LeBlanc and Elise are the other two picks for G2, so those are very, very strong picks for their team composition, especially.
Yeah, it's this picking style again. It's the split push pressure, the picking style, and gamers 2 going with what they know best. SK Prime going with the Rise as their final lock in here. So there we go, lobby remake. So we will just be getting that up and running as soon as possible. I am actually curious, do I have to jump out of the lobby? All right, so I will just quickly do that.
All right, but yeah, the lineups are going to be good. We got a Teemo placeholder, unfortunately, for Braum, so it's going to be a Caitlyn Braum bot lane. Haven't really seen that one together, but I assume you can play very safe, and as well as proc the stun from Braum's passive very effectively with Caitlyn at a nice distance. And Braum can harass with his Q too from a fairly long range, so that should be pretty interesting to see how the lane plays against a Thresh Lucian.
Yeah, he can also pretty heavily mitigate the all-in potential from Lucian, since his ability to block the incoming projectile damage and reduce the subsequent ones works very, very well if you're in a situation against Lucian where he's trying to culling you to finish you, or even just to get some harass across, which I have seen Yuki do sometimes, if he thinks he can get an edge out of it.
Oh, sorry about that. I've seen Braum, his shield completely negating the damage of culling. Like it's already a weak enough ability early on, but when you block it, it does nothing to Braum at all.
Yeah, it's just a huge amount of tankiness on that guy.
And the get behind me too is going to be a key factor for this matchup, especially against LeBlanc. You make everybody get behind you, and you just dive in front of LeBlanc, and she's like, "Oh, I just had all my damage blocked by that shield." So it's going to be some interesting positioning for G2. Is going to be blue side this time. I forget. I completely just blanked out who played LeBlanc.
Don't worry, I have also completely blanked out. It must be games 2. It must be games 2. It's games 2, right? Yeah, you're right.
All right, we're good. So it's gonna be hard for Ocelot with Braum in his face the entire time, trying to block everybody from getting hit by LeBlanc.
Thinking is hard.
Oh yeah, it's early in the morning for me when I woke up, late in the afternoon for you now.
Yeah, I mean, if I hadn't woken up at 6 p.m., I'd be well on top of that. I'd have known exactly what Ocelot had picked up.
Oh boy.
All right. Well, looks like we're going to be seeing the repicks coming in. They can ban whatever they want, obviously, because they're locking in the exact same champions that they had before. And it looks like they remembered that halfway through, and now they're banning random champions.
Okay, so we're gonna have a good show here. Shyvana top as well against Rise. Maybe Shyvana pretty much zoning Rise away for as long as possible in the earlier stages to try to not let him scale faster. But, it's just the inevitability as Rise of just him getting that mana, getting his health, and just becoming a huge late game threat. And Yuki's gonna have to be very, very careful later on, especially as a Lucian against Rise.
Might see a 2v1, of course. Rise
Very
is very,
true.
very susceptible to 2v1s, and you've got an Elise jungle to use the repel to break the tower aggro. You've got quite a bursty duo lane as well with the Thresh CC, the Lucian burst. All of it adds up to smelling a bit like a 2v1 to me.
Mm-hmm. So that's also another option, just like you said, for G2. The same could be said for, SK. They could mix things up a whole lot, send Rise bottom themselves. Why not? And try to mess with the Shyvana a little bit, but I highly doubt they want to do that. And I feel
go
like
with
they might be
a
standard
super
lanes.
early invade just to get the vision,
Yeah.
to see where the enemy duo is going.
Why not? Yeah, try to do it. And I feel like if everybody just started ghosts from now on, they could make it to the opposing enemy's jungles faster and go for the earlier invades with the 30-second ward drops. But
I'd
that's
bother with
just
Ghost. Just go with TP. Have one guy
oh,
run out with Ghost and drop a ward.
there we
You
go.
got a
Oh
more
man,
useful summoner spell.
why are we analysts or coaches? Why don't we make these ideas?
If a team played that strategy, I'd cry, but it would
Not
be
for a pro team,
crying of
obviously.
joy. Definitely joy and not embarrassment. So, yeah, guys, going into the delay timer now. So, feel free to check out our sponsors, ProBuilds.net and Logitech. We're just going to be going into the delay timer, as I say. Commercial break coming in. See you after this.
There's no place I'd rather be. 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 There's no place I'd rather place I'd rather be. There's no 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 place I'd
All right,
rather
welcome back here. We're into the final game of the best of 3 between SK and Gamers 2. We're on to the Rift. We're ready to go. And after Gamer 2's last performance, maybe they had a warm up after that first game. I'm not Spuddington. I'm
Yes,
Egad.
you are.
And joining me here is Spuddington.
I'm Egad, and you know, and I'm a terrible person or something.
Aw,
Yeah. Ha! Take that.
I'm Spuddington. I smell.
I mean, you got a point, but you have
Ugh.
to say it
All
in
right, but
public.
we're in the game. We're good to go.
All right. So yeah, we did actually have a pause timer. Don't know if we mentioned that or not, but regardless, in game as we are now, SK Prime looking like they're just playing it fairly defensively here. Interesting that they have Smitty trying to kind of cover two entrances at once here. Put down his trinket ward to cover the up area, and he's covering the Wraith camp himself. Does look like they are going to be just farming it up, starting off reasonably safely. We do have Gamers 2, however, looping around. We are expecting a 2v1 here, of course, so they may just be in position to be in the lane.
Yeah, very true. I think they're gonna actually force this 2v1 on Smitty J and give him that unfavorable matchup, as well as just send JWoww down bot, let him do his thing on Shabana, tank up the waves, and get whatever farm he can underneath turret. Against Caitlyn Braum, the Caitlyn Braum should have absolutely no problem farming.
Yeah, indeed. Shyvana will she'll get harassed out slowly, but it's not going to be nearly as bad of a situation as it will be for Ryze in the top lane here. Especially considering Elisa's starting red buff. She can get her level 3, she can look to gank top lane, and if there isn't a jungler in the area, Smitty J will be in a lot of trouble. Of course, Gilius has taken the correct jungle path to be there, just in case that 3 versus 1 3-minute timing does come in. But it's going to be interesting to see what transpires if that does.
And also, it's taking this LeBlanc into the mid lane. He played it the first game and had a really underwhelming performance on it. So we'll see if he can do better this time. But WaterFox played Yasuo mid lane and had a really rough time against Kale. This time he's not completely countered out, so we'll see if he can do better this game. And just Ryze is actually in the jungle right now, getting some extra XP off of Gilius and leeching some of that. So looking to go back to top lane, possibly at level 2 after he helps finish the red buff with him.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to plan on getting Ryze in position, getting him some XP and holding. They may actually start losing some CS to the tower though, so slightly smarter push there from Gamers 2 being a little bit quicker. Kill a couple of creeps to the tower and still get to freeze the wave. Build it up to be quite big. Ryze heads up there. Looks like they're just going to go for the 2-man hold.
That's not a bad response to the push that's coming in from them. And if Yuki or Dude do have a overextension, they could have a bit of a tough time trying to survive that. JWoww though is just going to be perfectly fine sitting under the turret, just farming on up. And we could see Morton look for a very early gank on this lane too. Braum doesn't have the most mobility, but he can just use that get behind me ability and dash towards his ally.
Yeah, indeed. Now, Gamers 2 heading up to the, looking at this top lane here, are going to have a better time than, if they do a 2-man hold essentially, Gamers 2 will do much better because they have better wave clear on both of the champions involved, and there's no real all-in potential from SK Prime, whereas if Gamers 2 could land a cocoon on Caitlyn.
They get the prison on View, they get the Sonic Wave Resonating Strike, as well as the Tempest Cripple. They do exhaust though. Yuki's doing a bunch of damage to Gilius. They force him back, as well as Smitty J igniting the mid lane onto WaterFox as well. He's dangerously low, and his passive does get popped. Oh man. And he will be forced to go back.
Propped. I don't. The word in between. Regardless though, they did try for the all-in on SK Prime, so I'm a little bit surprised that did happen and didn't happen in the bot lane from Gamers 2, but as it is, Smitty J does get his TP in, does get back to the lane, and he does have a bit more health. Yuki now a little bit lower on the mana front, so it's going to be easier for Smitty to stay in and at least not get bullied out completely.
Alright, and Ocelot has secured a minor lead in the mid lane too, so he's doing a bit better against this Yasuo pick. Oh, Smitty does get hit by the hook there. Flayed back as well into a bunch of damage from that harass from Yuki, so good combination from them again. But Smitty has a bunch of biscuits and heals up. Oh, the Cocoon connected through the 90 caliber net. Morden's going and they force the heal and the flash out of him. Zaitan taking up a bunch of damage as well with that shield and the get behind me. So, good job by the Braum support coming in. First time I'm seeing him here, at least in the EU event. So, good to see Zaitan playing him and showing a strong protection value that Braum brings.
Yeah, this is actually something that was run yesterday. Braum Yasuo. That's a scary combo. It's one of the most difficult to avoid knockups, long range, sets you up beautifully for the last breath. So you've got to be very, very careful when it comes to team fights against this composition from SK Prime. Now, of course, thinking of the mid lane, WaterFox is actually doing a pretty good job. He's not having any trouble in this lane. He's farming himself up, and that is definitely a far cry from the game before this one.
Oh, they're trying to get the stun. They do end up getting into JWoww, though. And looking for the passive again, but it has a big cooldown timer. JWoww could be able to just run away and save his flash. So he'll be forced to go back. He'll buy up. How much money has he got? 800. Could get the Amp Scepter. Could get some armor to just go straight for the tank build. We'll find out. Tier was already built up by Smithy in the top lane, though. So he's going to be stacking that up and trying to become a late game Rise a little bit early on.
Interesting that JWoww chose to go for the Doran's Blade and the boots. Boots I can understand definitely wanting, but I was expecting Chain Vest and a few pots there. Instead, he has gone for the Doran's items. Will give him early game, definitely. Probably still not as good in terms of his staying in the lane as a Chain Vest would have been, but now we do have a pause timer coming in as WaterFox is disconnected.
Alright, so he's going to restart his client. He'll be back in. And Morden was looking for a gank, but there were frantic back pings coming in from SK as they do not want to have WaterFox have a bad time in the mid lane. So he's backing up already, and they just pause so he gets away. And this early game, it looks actually fairly even. The 2v1 lanes are actually even as well. Normally you see the 2v1 lanes get like dove 3v1 or 4v1 or something like that, but this time around, no like 3v1 dives or 3-man pushes coming in. Just straight up farming.
Yeah, there is a slight advantage that's been gained by Morden just because he's had more freedom to roam around the map than Gilius, who's been stuck defending Rise quite a lot, but he hasn't made much happen with that advantage. So, yeah, you're right. They come out roughly even, and SK Prime's teamfight is really quite scary. If they are allowed to scale up to get their items, you can already see Smitty starting to stack up his tier. They will be very difficult to deal with. Of course, game is 2. They're not a team fighting team, and they're split pushing, they're picking, all that stuff is very, very good. So they may never need to worry about that, even if the farm does happen.
A nice little poke fest coming out from Ocelot. They're just completely bursting him down. It looks like Zaitan may have DC too as soon as Morden was coming in for a gank. So a little bit of I guess lag possibly for them. But
welcome to EUS, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I've heard the rumors, I've read the posts. Good thing I'm on good old American servers, I guess.
The super reliable American servers that never fail. I mean, really, where you want to be clearly is Korea.
Yes, 5 ping? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what ping I would have from here, but clearly I should move to Korea in order to... I'd automatically become better at League of Legends as well. So
OG and Spuddington.
It's a win-win. Well, I'm not saying I've become that much better at League of Legends, but better because there's just aura. There's like aura buff in Korea, improved at video games.
Okay,
Enter it, and
well,
the
I
buff
guess.
timer appears on the bottom of your screen. And not sure
You mean
works.
Curse Voice? Oh, we have that in America.
But that's not what I meant. I do not support buff timers. I always thought it was stupid. But Unpause coming in right now. And this bottom lane could be interesting.
Alright, so, wow. I guess Zaitan gets the behind me as well as the shield and is able to protect Zeiss or Haydal. It looked like he kind of jumped across the screen for me there. I don't know if that was lag, but they're living, they're fine, they're going to go back to base.
It's a reliable server that's working as intended right now. It does actually look like Mordant is not done, though. Zaitan's got to be careful. If he gets stunned, it would be hard to lead in.
They're just going to dive on top of him. He's got nothing to go to protect to or jump to. He's going to get cocooned up and taken out. Oh, there it is. All right, auto attack from Morden and Spiderling finish it up. And good dive by Morden there.
Yeah, picks up the kill, and they will be able to just farm that out as well. Obviously, doesn't deny Caitlyn her farm here. They're not going to be able to take the tower off it, but still not a bad choice there to get the kill and leave Elise securing some advantage with the ability to roam that she has had. Now Gilius has also been released from this top lane. Looking towards his mid lane area.
Oh yeah, Ocelot popped the wind wall early.
breath.
Yeah, so you gotta be very, very careful with that. Knockup doesn't connect, Sonic Wave does! And it's gonna be the kill to the clone!
Oh!
Waterfox gets baited, he's gonna die to the turret and the distortion! Ocelot with an amazing play!
Yes. I mean, Ocelot, and no, do not take anything away from Ocelot and what he did there.
The
but,
clone doing most of the work there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's part of Ocelot, so credit goes to the general manager of the situation in the form of Ocelot. But yeah, a little bit of an unfortunate mistake there. It does look like they're probably going to be regretting that because up to that point, Yasuo is fine in the lane, and that may actually change the dynamics of how far LeBlanc is ahead. Meanwhile, bot tower does drop.
Alright, so they give up one global objective, they get the kill in mid, but a nice first turn of the game for SK. That's some well-needed gold. They're still down by 2 kills though, and still down by a rough 300 gold, but that really is not too much of a point to make. Blue buff though gets passed over to Ocelot, and Fox is farming up his jungle. He actually hasn't had enough time to pick up an Avarice Blade or Zeal. He just went straight for the Zerker Greaves.
Well, attack speed is a very, very good stat on Yasuo. Underrated even compared to the crit on him. And Berserker's Greaves gives you a lot of attack speed for your money, as well as giving you the movement speed, which is nice on Yasuo, of course, because he gets his shield back faster, but now taking a ton of damage.
Oh, Ocelot looking for another kill, gonna use that fresh blue buff, but a nice wind wall to stop the Sigil. He's gonna get chased out here by Morden as well, so we'll see if that chase evolves into a kill. They repel in, they dash in, he flashes over the wall into the blue, and Braum is coming in for a cutoff as well. They ping onto Braum, but up top they're fighting, and it's gonna be Lee Sin going in. Yuki's gonna pop the box and flash away. Safeguarding away is Lee Sin. Yuki's gonna take a bunch of damage from Smitty, and he'll actually end up walking into a wall. Flashes forward, they were a bunch of damage. He's gonna get exhausted though. The culling and the flay from DU to pick up the kill, as they ping onto Gilius as well. They want to take him out. They're bloodthirsty.
I think this is becoming probably the most common mistake I'm seeing on an individual level, is people just not thinking about the fact their opponent has exhaust before going for the all-in. It was a completely correct play otherwise, but yeah, backfired pretty badly when you suddenly lose more than half your damage, so bad times.
I kind of feel like he thought the support had heal. I think people haven't adjusted to the fact that supports can now take exhaust and ignite since they nerfed the heal just a little bit. Or maybe he thought it was down.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I think it's probably just like he saw the situation as it was, but didn't think about the cooldowns on summoner spells in general, let alone whether the exhaust specifically was available. So unfortunately, that costs you. You can't afford to make that kind of mistake in a competitive setting, and I don't think Ziz is going to be able to hold this bot tower. Oh, maybe he will.
I'm busy.
You? Oh dear. So, you guys appears to have had some kind of issue there, but Waterfox in the mid lane right now, going to be just farming this out, right, doing much the same in the top lane. Gamers 2 have built themselves a little bit of an advantage so far, but nothing as dramatic as we have seen in the previous game. I believe that
Lag. Okay, I'm good.
Okay, you're back. Lovely.
All right, we're good to go.
I was worried because I heard the disconnect from the channel sound. And I'm like, oh dear. Well, solo casting, but fine. I don't like solo casting.
We're good to go though. But Dragon getting warded out, gonna get pinged out as well. DU and Yuki gonna rotate themselves back down to bot lane. Gonna continue to farm her up, keeping the relic shield as well as keeping his sight stun rush and the mobility boots. So looking to be a very mobile and excessive Thresh.
Yeah, he's going to be trying to set up place. Not going for the massive cooldown reduction build that we see sometimes on Threshes, but right now, Death Sentence is going to be a very valuable thing, as is Cocoon. Looks like the vision fight is going to start out here for the Dragon, and whoever can catch someone out is going to come out well on top in that situation.
Very true. So Morden kind of hanging around towards mid. He does get pinged up by a ward. They may look to bait this one out for Gilius while JY and Smitty, just do the little poke fest up top. We gotta be careful. There's the burnout. There's the Dragon's Ascent. He's gonna look to go all in on this one, but doesn't have a cutlass to slow him down, so he's gonna be able to try to outrun him, and he will actually be able to do so. Chugs a potion and some mana, and he'll just go back to farming.
That was pretty fortunate timing on the level up for Smitty there, because it procced his catalyst, so he got the health and mana regain, crucially. Getting the mana back meant that JY suddenly thought, oh wait, this guy actually has damage. This all-in is suddenly a lot more risky than it would have been otherwise. As it happens though, it's going to result in JY still be taking the advantage, pushing out and forcing his opponent back, but here comes the push on the bottom tower.
Wow. That was a lot of good damage on the Waterfox. Double distortion as well. He's going to go back in, flashing the tornado. Really good job by Ocelot. Ignite ticks away as well with the auto attacks, and Waterfox will go down in the 1v1 again.
Yeah, well, that's the consequence of getting a ham-fistedly failed gank on the mid lane before. And here comes Dio.
Death Sentence comes in. The shield does not block that one. He gets flayed even further in. There's a knockup from the ultimate. He walks into the wall, though. Doesn't flash through. They flash forward. Maybe the piercing light and the auto attacks as well to pick up that kill. Are they going to dive on the Haydal is the question. They take the turret, and the answer is going to be yes. When that cocoon comes back up and the Death Sentence cocoon connects. No, it does not. And it will be the 90 caliber net to save his life. Meanwhile, Lee Sin comes in for the possible counter gate. Flash! And the... Wow!
Exhaust!
He heals! He heals and exhausts through it. And they do end up taking out Gilius. Now Yuki's going to chase down possibly. Nope. Alright, Haydal's going to be able to run away. But a really well played counter gank, I guess, by G2. But now Waterfox is coming in. But he cannot find the distance in as he dashes forward and can't connect.
Yep, the exhaust bait claims another victim there. And that was a very fortunate time as well by Ziz. His net came up like maybe 0.2 of a second after the cocoon, so Morden fired it just as the net was being fired himself, or it was about to connect just as it was being fired. So no one is strong enough to take the dragon, but all this time, Gamers 2 are building themselves up a little bit more goal advantage here and there. They don't have TP now though, so maybe SK could make the play on the dragon.
We'll find out. There is a ward over there for SK. It hasn't been warded up just yet by G2, but we're going to see Dude make his way over there, as well as the Soul Wraith over there. They had to clean it out and make sure that the race reset. The matchup between JWoww and Smitty now, it's heavily in JWoww's favor. He's got a Sunfire Cake completed while Smitty's still working on those scaling items and getting all of his mana and damage up. And there is a red buff on JWoww, so he can trade pretty well, but I think Gilius is going to have something to say about this as they look to make the gank attempt up here. Ward jumping over the wall, Sonic Wave resonating straight, connect through that one, but they cannot slow him up. There's not enough energy for the cripple, so JWoww is going to be able to run away, but Morden comes in for the counter gank, and they're going to try to turn on this one. They kick him into JWoww. A bunch of damage coming in from the poke from Smitty, but they're going to look to disengage here, so Morden effectively saving JWoww's life from the chase, and going to go clean up with blue buff and give it over to Ocelot. And the culling down bot as well, going into the Haytal, but not doing too much damage, but that piercing light did end up connecting through the wave, so doing a bunch in itself.
Yeah, and Yuki has come out well, very, very dominant right now. He is very difficult to deal with. He's got his blue buff now as well, so he keeps spamming.
Holy cow, that did a bunch of damage to Haytal. And the piercing light connects again, takes him so low. That's 3 in a row for Yuki on those piercing lights. That blue buff is just doing so much work for him, and the cooldowns and just letting him spam out.
Yeah, 4.5 second cooldown now with the CDR on that Q, which means there are a lot of them, and they hurt like hell with the Bloodthirster build that he's gone for. The Gamers 2 are looking very, very dominant, and they're starting to apply this split push here. This 1-3-1 essentially, or one. It's more like, it's less of a 1-3-1 and more of a 1-2-1, and then someone that generally tries to be in 2 places at once.
They're gonna fight Gilius, they pull him into the blocks, he flays and gets the safeguard away. Death Sentence doesn't end up connecting, Yuki's gonna do a bunch of damage. They counter with the Braum ultimate though onto Dude. They're gonna try to stun him up, he flashes, they're slow coming in from Morden with the red buff. The auto attacks repelling over the wall to Waterfox. He's gonna flash away, he's got Ocelot in the back. Safeguarding, they get the wall for the chain, but a distortion does so much damage. They catch Gilius out with a Death Sentence. And Dude goes big to help them get that kill. Morden secures it, and that's going to be the second dragon of the game, over to G2.
Yep, and they get the push on in the mid lane as well. I'm not sure what the fuck was this?
They're going in, he gets the knockup, but no last breath. He flashes forward, gonna be able to pick up the kill, drops Ignite, and will they be able to save him is the question? The Lantern, yes, stops the last tick. and keeps JWoww alive. DU going big, also looking for some serious poke. Death Sentence connects on a Braum. Will they look for the dive is the question. They're going to back off from G2's side and be content with the one kill they found and the life they saved in JWoww.
Gotta question the lack of the last breath, though. It would have been enough to turn the fight around. He wouldn't even have died, because What the Fox would have refreshed his shield had he done so there. So, slight misplay again there by What the Fox. Not having the best games on Yasuo, and definitely paling in comparison to what we've seen from Nukedog yesterday.
Oh, man. So, G2 are just completely rolling away with this game right now. They're taking it slow, though. They're being really precise with their rotations. They're taking dragons where they can. They're picking fights and abusing the lack of vision that SK has. If you look, most of the vision, actually all the vision, is in those two wards that are up top. One just faded, so there's that one at the entrance they're red. So they have to start warding up and playing defensive for the long haul in this game, because SK will not work out until the late game, where that Yasuo has 2 items and Smitty has his build ready for his rise.
That is the weakness of picking a late game comp against Gamers 2, of course. They
Whoa,
rely on getting ahead.
Back up onto Ocelot. He gets the lantern though into you. You're gonna be able to save him. Meanwhile, there's a culling and a death sentence to connect on his eyes. He's gonna get taken down. Oh no, gets the dash away, but double distortion from Ocelot secures the kill, as well as a Sigil to pick up the last hit on Waterfox. Zaitan in a really precarious spot as Smithy gets death sentence as well to you, having such a wonderful game, getting that death sentence. But meanwhile, Gallius finds the kill onto Ocelot in the meantime. He's gonna go back. Whoa, fancy feet coming out from that Lee
I'm not
Sin.
sure what the point of the fancy feat was, because he did just blow his flash for it, but yeah, he did manage to catch out Ocelot as well, so props to him for all that, but it's just irrelevant compared to the train that Gamers 2 is currently running over them. They just about to take another inner tower here, or sorry, their first inner tower here, and they're taking so many kills in these fights, and they're so dominant now in terms of vision control. It's just going to get worse. We've seen how hard it is to turtle against Gamers 2. They are experts in cracking turtles.
Julius, he's gonna get bound up, cocooned, and everything comes out. He's gonna fall. Morden takes him out. Braum was there for some backup, but a little too far away. Now, G2 has to make their way out. They're still pretty strong. I think they could continue to fight, but they're gonna just back out and play it safe. Repelling over the wall. JWoww looking for the lantern, but maybe forced to use his dragon to get out of here. There it is. And he does Echo Baron, but Yuki in the meantime, let's do it. We'll push him on. Yeah.
That's so cute. He just wasted so much time with their opponents.
Are they gonna
They're gonna try the Baron.
What? They don't have smite. Uh-oh.
Well, they've got, this is like the only thing they can do. Like, they have no choice but to try this, and it's gonna fail.
Oh, he just almost got one shot. There it is, the Spiderling for the last hit there. They're taking so much damage from Baron Pit. It's like they're just stuck in the pit. Ocelot finds the kill while dashing over, but Zeiss will pick him up. They're gonna let Lord Baron? I thought they were gonna let Lord Baron finish off Haydal.
That would have been cruel.
That would have been very cruel, but now here comes Shyvana teleporting into the back. They flay Zeiss in. He's gonna go back towards Baron. Nope! Death Sentence from TU denies him that one. Meanwhile, Yuki and Gilius are just 1v1ing. Auto attacks coming out. Yuki has enough damage. And the ace, an 18-2 G2 should be able to close out. Or the GTs come out and this game is done.
That is true there. So Gamers 2, bit of a stumble in the first game, but they came back to what we were expecting. These last 2 games are what I was expecting from the beginning of this series, and I'm curious as to exactly what it was that misfired on their first game. Partly, of course, their laning phases were not nearly as strong as they would have liked, but they can't rely, Gamers 2 cannot rely on having such a strong laning phase when they go up against NIP, because that team is all-star talent. They do not have even as strong talent in the form of Gamers 2, so they're going to have to play a lot more cleverly and a lot less